Lesson 1 is all about history, its introduction, and historical sources. As students, you should be able to letter A, understand the meaning of history as an academic discipline and to be familiar with the underlying philosophy and methodology of the discipline. Okay, from letter A, objectives, ano yung mga dapat nating malaman. Alamin natin what is history. We will define what is history. What are the concepts of history? Um, the importance of studying history. Okay, so yun yung mga dapat nating malaman from the objective letter A. Letter B, know the difference between primary and secondary sources. Actually, tatlo to. Primary, secondary, and tertiary sources. We will differentiate the three. Primary, secondary, and tertiary sources. And letter C, examine and assess critically the value of historical evidences and the sources. We will examine and assess the importance of those document or data or historical evidences na ginagamit natin sa pag-aaral ng history. And letter D, appreciate research method in history. We have two methods in studying history. We will know the difference between the two later. And ano yung dapat nating gamitin? Pwede ba nating gamitin yung dalawang method na to sa pag-aaral ng history? Let's begin with the definition of history. What is history? That is the question. So let us define what is history. History refers to the study and interpretation by a historian on the data and other source of the past human activity, people, societies, and the civilizations leading to the present day. As we all know, di ba, since elementary and high school, nag-aral naman tayo ng iba't ibang asignatura na may kinalaman sa history. Andyan yung Hekasi, kung naabot nyo. Hekasi, andyan yung Makabayan, andyan syempre andyan ang kasaysayan ng Pilipinas o kasaysayan ng daigdig at i-define natin doon kung ano talaga yung kahulugan ng history. And base sa ating mga napag-aralan, ang history is the study of the past. Okay, di ba yun yung ating natatandaan? History refers to the study of the past. Pag-aaral siya ng nakaraan. Pero ngayon, ibibigay natin yung eksaktong kahulugan ng history. At ang eksaktong kahulugan ng history ay history is the study and interpretation of the past events. Yun po ang eksaktong kahulugan. Hindi natin sinasabi na mali yung kahulugan na ating napag-aralan nung tayo ay nag-aaral ng elementary or junior high school or sa high school nung secondary tayo. History is the study of the past. Hindi yun mali. Okay? Pero pwede natin sabihin that that definition is incomplete. Hindi siya kompleto. Bakit po? Kasi sa pag-aaral ng history, hindi lang natin basta-basta pinag-aaralan yung mga document or yung mga bagay na naganap or nangyari sa nakaraan. Okay, dapat ini-interpret din natin siya. Dapat binibigyan din natin siya ng kahulugan or ng meaning. Okay, in English, we are not just studying history or we are not just studying past events, but also we have to interpret or give meaning to those events or to those data and documents. And usually, ang gumagawa niyan ay ang ating mga historians. Okay, they are the one who gathered data. They are the one who study the past. They are the one who interpret the data and documents regarding history. Okay, yung mga pinapag-aralan nila ay ang mga ito: past human activity, people, societies, and civilizations. Madami tayong questions kapag nag-aaral tayo ng history. Una na doon, syempre, what kind of people they are in the past? What kind of living do they have in the past? What are those activities associated with them in the past? What kind of society? How come that our society now is different from the society in the past? What are those civilizations that leads to the present day? Okay, kasi lagi natin sinasabi that history repeats itself. Okay, history will repeat itself. Maaring yung mga bagay na naganap or nangyari sa nakaraan ay maulit sa kasalukuyan. Yun yung tinatawag natin that history repeats itself. At pwede tayong makakuha ng mga information na magagamit natin once na tayo ay nag-aral ng history para may apply natin sa kasalukuyan. Maaaring may mga problema or issues, challenges na kinakaharap ang kasalukuyan na tanging ang makakasagot ay ang nakaraan. That's why we are studying history. Aside from that, di ba, as we all know, these are the three concepts. May tatlo kasing concepts ang history. Una na nga doon yung sinabi natin that history, as we all know, is based on past events. That's the number one. History is based on past events. The second one, it is interpreted by historian. That is the second concept of history. It is interpreted by someone, and that someone is usually what we called historian. Ano pang ginagawa ng historians? They gather, they discard, and they interpret the sources that they encounter. And syempre, finally, number three, the last concept of history, it relies on data and documents. It relies on data and documents. At ang tawag ng mga historians na to sa data and documents na kanilang pinapag-aralan ay historical sources. Let's proceed to history as a subject matter. As you may read, like other social science, the subject matter of history is the life of people and humanity. Okay, buhay ng tao ang pinag-aaralan natin when it comes to history. Kaya nga 'di ba, may mga questions akong binanggit sa inyo kanina. What kind of people they are in the past? What kind of living? What kind of society these people may have in the past? Or what kind of civilization? Okay, madami tayong questions, and those questions are associated with the people itself mismo. Kaya ang subject matter or ang pinakang focus or pinapag-aralan ng subject na history ay ang life of people and humanity. Okay, sabi nga natin kanina, history has always been known as the study of the past. Okay, that definition of history is not wrong, but that is incomplete. Okay, bakit daw? Kasi, this is the answer. Etymologically, the word history came from the Greek word historia, which means inquiry. Ang ibig sabihin daw ng historia ay inquiry. Hindi ang ibig sabihin ng historia ay past or past events. Ang ibig sabihin ng salitang history, dahil siya ay nagmula sa salitang historia, sa Greek word na historia, ay inquiry. Di ba? We are inquiring. Ibig sabihin, it denotes asking questions or investigation of the past. That is the meaning of history. History, from the Greek word historia, which means inquiry, it denotes asking questions or investigation of the past. Okay, kaya sa pag-aaral ng history, napakahalaga ng tinatawag natin na evidences. At lahat dapat ng historical account natin or historical evidences natin ay may pinagbabasehan na ebidensya or evidences. Bakit daw? Kasi a version of the past that cannot be supported by the evidence is worthless. Okay, aanin mo yung pag-aaral mo kung walang evidence. Okay, aanin mo yung pag-aaral mo about the past kung wala namang patunay or magpapatunay na totoo ito na nangyari sa nakaraan. Okay, the version of the past that cannot be supported by the evidence is worthless. O ano mang kaganapan na walang ebidensya ay maituturing natin na kumbaga hindi na mahalaga or walang halaga para sa atin kasi hindi ito makakatulong sa atin sa kasalukuyan. I'll give you an example. Okay, taong ahas story. The half human and half snake creature. Itong taong ahas na to ay nangi-stalk sa isa sa mga sa ladies room ng isa sa mga department store sa Manila. At ang famous victim niya ay si Alice Dixon, yung actress na si Alice Dixon. It happened 3 decades ago, noong si Alice Dixon ay 21 years old pa lamang. And the question is, because it happened in the past, would that story be classified as history or would that story be classified as gossip or urban legend? No, so that is considered gossip or urban legend. Okay, there's no evidence na nagpapatunay na totoo or tunay itong taong ahas na ito. Even si Alice Dixon, hindi naman siya bigay ng evidence or proof na nangyari talaga ito sa kanya, sa department store na yon. Okay, now the question is, how important is evidence in studying history? Katulad ng sinabi natin kanina, a version of the past that cannot be supported by the evidence is worthless. Well, baliwala lang din yung pag-aaral natin ng event na to sa kasaysayan natin kung hindi din naman natin siya masusuportahan ng evidence. At yun yung ginagawa ng ating mga historians. Sino yung ating mga historians? Historians are the expert or student of history, especially that of a particular period, geographical region, or social phenomenon. Okay, they are the historians, they are the expert, they are the student of history. They gather, they discard, and they interpret the data or historical sources that we have in studying history. As an expert or student of history, responsibilities nila ang maghanap ng mga evidences and facts and to interpret these facts. Okay, they have to give meaning to those facts and organizes them chronologically. They must be able to recognize the evidence. And once they recognize the evidence, they have to decide how useful it is. Then they have to come up to conclusion. Ibig sabihin, our historians therefore is responsible for reconstructing the past. Kapag sinabi natin reconstructing, since they are studying history, ginagawa nila ng paraan para yung um, mabuo yung isang pag-aaral sa ating nakaraan. Yung ibang authors natin, define nila ang history as a study of historical perspective. Okay, bakit kaya? Okay, bakit daw? Bakit nasabi ng mga authors na to that history is the study of historical perspective? In reconstructing the past, ang ating kasing mga historians, they can be subjective. Kapag sinabi natin subjective, maaaring makapaglabas sila ng mga false information. Bakit? Bakit? Kasi they are all human too. Tao lang din naman sila at nagkakamali din naman sila. No? They are all human. They are fallible and they are capable of making errors. Isa pa sa dahilan natin is because ang ating memories are filled with bias. Kumbaga, mayroon pa ding mga questions na lalabas sa ating isipan. And isa na doon, syempre, ay yung iba't ibang pananaw natin. Kaya, dinefine nila ang history as this study of historical perspective. Ang ating kasi mga historians, iba't iba yung kanilang pananaw regarding sa kung ano yung kanilang pinag-aaralan. Okay, maaring sila ay naimpluwensyahan ng kanilang environment, maaring sila ay naimpluwensyahan ng kanilang paniniwala or ideology, maaring naimpluwensyahan sila ng education nila, kung ano yung naituro sa kanila or kung ano yung nalaman nila. And syempre, yung influence ng mga taong nakapaligid sa kanila. Okay, I'll give you an example. Kung nakikita sa screen natin, ang Indian parable of an elephant and the blind man. Indian parable of an elephant and the blind man. So let us consider that these blind men are the historians. Okay. Iba't iba sila ng historical perspectives. Historians have different historical perspective. Okay, di ba? Katulad ng inyong nababasa, let's say for example, sabi ng isang historian, it's a fan. Sabi ng isa, it's a spear. It's a snake. It's a tree. It is a wall. It is a rope. Okay, bakit? Because historians have different historical perspective. Anong dahilan? Okay, bakit magkakaroon ng iba't ibang historical perspective ang ating mga historians? Okay, ang dahilan nun is because certain events happened so long ago. Matagal lang naganap, matagal lang nangyari ang mga pangyayaring ito. And sometimes, yung mga nakakalap na evidence ay incomplete or hindi kompleto. Okay, yung ating mga historians, they have different approaches and views about what happened in the past. Okay, that is the subjective nature of history. Hindi naman talaga natin maiwasan na magkamali. At yun talaga yung ginagawa ng ating mga historians. And at least, itinatama nila iyon sa pamamagitan ng pagkalapa ng mga evidence. Okay, that is the subjective nature of history. I'll give you an example. Maaring sabihin ng isang historians natin that that event was happened in a certain way. Pero yung ibang historians, pwede naman sila na mag-disagree doon sa kanyang sinabi o sa kanyang pag-aaral. Kaya ang magandang gawin ng mga historians or kahit kayo bilang mga estudyante is to reconstruct the past as fully as possible. Okay, kumbaga, hanggat wala nang kumukontra or wala nang kontrabida doon sa ating pananaliksik or sa ating pag-aaral. No? Kaya masasabi na natin na ang ating pag-aaral ay tunay at totoo kasi mayroon na tayong mga pruweba at hindi na tayo kinokontra ng iba't ibang mga authors or historians. Okay, kaya ang ginagawa ng ating mga historians para maging objective or true sila sa kanilang pag-aaral is gumagamit sila ng methods in studying history. Okay, una dyan ay ang historiography. Okay, historiography is the study of how history was written, by whom, and why this was recorded as such. And it is concerned with how historians have presented history. Okay, kaya napakahalaga na bigyan natin ng meaning or i-interpret natin yung ating nakaraan in an objective way or true as long as we are free of inherent contradictions. Kaya ginagamit natin ang historiography. Ibig sabihin, there should also have scientific discourse among historians on a particular controversial event. Okay, ibig sabihin, kung mag-aaral ng history, itong historiography ang ating gagamitin. Pero sa pag-aaral at paggamit ng historiography, ito yung mga dapat nating tandaan. How history was written. Okay, paano nagawa or paano ginawa or paano naisulat ang history na to or ang historical source na to. Another one, sino? By whom? Sino ang gumawa? Sino ang sumulat ng historical source na to? And why it was recorded as such. Okay, bakit mayroon tayo ng document na to or historical source na to sa kasalukuyan. Okay, yun yung dapat nating tandaan ng mga katanungan sa paggamit ng tinatawag na historiography method. Another way for a historian to be objective is to follow the historical method. That's the core protocols historians use for handling sources and agreed ground rules for researching and writing academic research or professional history. Kapag sinabi natin na historical method, that is the modern method in studying history. Okay, familiar naman kayo sa ating ginagawa na research paper kasi nakagawa na kayo ng mga research paper. This historical method is kumbaga, yun yung ginagawa natin sa pag-aaral ng history. Okay, dito, in order for you to be objective, anong dapat mong ginagawa as historians? You have to verify sources. Verify sources. Okay, dapat mong alamin kung ito ba talaga ang original na source. Another one, date them or date the sources. Okay, you have to identify the date. Kailan naganap ang pangyayari or anong petsa ng pangyayari. Another one, locate the place of origin. Okay, when we are talking about location and place, of course, we are talking about where. Okay, saan. Okay, saan ito um, nanggaling or saan ito nagmula or saan ito naganap or nangyari ang pangyayaring ito. Another one, you have to identify the intended functions. Identify the intended functions. Ibig sabihin, you will identify the importance of these sources for you to be able to be objective in your study. Ibig sabihin, it is important for a historian to base their accounts on source materials. Okay, di ba kapag nagre-research kayo, meron kayong mga ginagamit, meron kayong mga pinagkukuhanan ng mga information, mga libro, si Google, kasi si Google nandiyan na ang mga ating mga pinag-aaralan. Ako, yun yung ginagawa natin sa historical method or historical methodology. Verify sources, date them, locate the place of origin, identify the intended functions, and as historians, you must base your accounts on source materials. Okay, let's move on to sources of history. And these sources of history are what we call the historical sources. Okay, historical sources are tangible remains of the past. Historical sources are the object or things from the past, or pwede nating sabihin that the historical sources are the testimony concerning the past, kung saan yung ating mga historians dito nakadepende yung kanilang pag-aaral, or dito sa mga historical sources, ito yung pinapag-aralan ng ating mga historians. At mayroon siyang three kinds. Three kinds of sources, namely primary, secondary, and tertiary sources. So let's proceed to the first one, the primary source. A primary source is a testimony of an individual who was a participant in or a direct witness to the event that is being described. Because you should remember this one, okay, direct witness. Okay, ibig sabihin, from that words or from that phrase, direct witness to the event, those sources were present during an experience or time period and offer an inside view of a particular event. Kumbaga, from the place itself, direct witness to the event, primary source are the document or physical object which was written or created during the time under the study. Okay, let's say from that phrase, direct witness, primary source, ikaw mismo ang nandoon sa pangyayari. Ikaw mismo ang nakasaksi sa pangyayari at maaaring ginawa mo ang document na ito habang nangyayari ang isang pangyayari sa ating nakaraan, sa ating past. O dito sa primary source. Itong primary source natin, available siya in any form. Okay, maaaring in original format, maaaring in microfilm, maaaring in digital format, or maaari din naman na published format. Okay, what are those? Okay, there are 5 main categories of primary sources. Una, written source. Number 2, numerical records. Number 3, oral statements. Number 4, relics. Number 5, images. Let's have the first one. Written sources, they are written or printed materials that have been produced in one form or another sometime in the past. From the word itself, written. Okay, isinulat siya or naisulat siya habang nagaganap or ginaganap ang pangyayari. Okay, written source. The most common one is the written source or documents. Okay, ano yung mga examples natin yan? It can be in published materials or manuscript form or manuscript materials. Example natin ay ang travelogue at ang newspaper. Ang travelogue ni Antonio Pigafetta, The First Voyage Around the World. Ito kasi ay pamilyar naman kayo sa eksplorasyon nung si Magellan ay nag-explore kasama si Antonio Pigafetta. At habang sila ay naglalakbay, si Antonio Pigafetta, nagsusulat siya sa pamagitan ng kanyang journal ng mga pangyayari. At dahil si Antonio Pigafetta ay nandoon mismo sa pangyayari, kaya may tuturing na itong travelogue niya, The First Voyage Around the World, ay primary source na under ng written source natin. Ang newspaper. Ang newspaper na La Solidaridad, ito naman ay ginawa under the time na nandito na mga Kastila sa Pilipinas nang itinatag na ang propaganda movement. Okay. Kaya example din siya ng written source natin under primary source. Ano pa yung ibang example natin about sa primary source? Kasama din dyan ang transcription of speech, autobiographies, ang journal, maaari din siyang handwritten or type record that has not been printed. Example ng mga manuscript natin ay ito, archival materials. Archival materials. Mga matatagpuan natin sa archive. Another one is the memoir. Kabilang din dyan ang diary. Personal letter or correspondence. Yan, kasama yan. At yun yung ating mga written sources under primary source. Kalawa, numerical records. Ang numerical records naman natin ay it includes any type of number data in printed or handwritten form. Anything from the word itself, numerical, anything na ginamitan ng numbers, that is numerical records, and that is under primary source. Okay, yung mga bagay na naisulat or na-imprenta noong unang panahon na ang gamit ay number, that is primary source. Example natin ay printed numerical graph, GDP growth rate in percent. Kapag oral statements naman, includes any form of statement made orally by an eyewitness. It may be through video recordings, audio recordings, or transcribed. Example natin dyan ay ang oral statement of an eyewitness to the Culion Leper Colony. Oral, ibig sabihin, you are stating kung ano yung nasaksihan mo. At yun yung ating example. Kumbaga kinikwento mo kung ano yung nasaksihan mo dahil ikaw ang pinakang eyewitness. Ikaw talaga nakasaksi or nakakita ng pangyayari. At habang ikaw ay nagbibigay ng iyong statement, maaaring ito ay nakuha na ng video recordings, audio recordings, or transcribe. Example, my first day was a scary one. There was a patient whose earlobes were so long. He had no nose, only two holes on his face, and no fingers, only the palm of his hands. The other patients were in different stages of deformity. Ang eyewitness natin, dahil siya ang nakasaksi sa pangyayari, ay si Senior Maria Luisa Montenegro. Ang relics naman natin ay any objects whose physical or visual characteristics can provide some information about the past. Okay. This includes artifacts, ruins, and fossils. Examples natin ay balangila bells, fossil ng Kaliyawman, okay, any objects na may kinalaman sa ating past na, kumbaga, makukuhanan natin ng mga information. Okay, kabilang dyan yung mga antique, mga antigo na mostly ay makikita na lang natin sa mga National Museum. Images naman, it includes photograph, posters, paintings, drawing, cartoon, and maps. Okay, these images, syempre from the word itself, image, these are visible through our naked eye. Example natin, photograph ng Buddha Massacre at ang painting ni Juan Luna. Okay, that is primary source. You are the direct witness to that event. Okay, maaaring ikaw mismo ang naka-experience ng pangyayari kaya ka nakagawa or nakasulat ng isang document. Secondary source naman, a secondary source interprets and analyzes primary sources. These sources are one or more steps removed from the event. Okay, kung itong primary source natin, you are the direct witness to that particular event. Ang secondary source naman natin ay it is prepared by an individual who was not direct witness to that particular event. Pero yung mga information na isinulat niya sa kanyang document ay nanggaling or kinuha niya sa mga primary sources na mayroon tayo. No, that is a secondary source. Maaring yung kanyang source, sa secondary source, ay mayroong picture or graphics na nakuha niya sa primary source. Ano yung mga examples nun? History textbooks, printed materials, biographies, newspaper, magazine, journal, kabilang din dyan yung mga works of criticism and interpretation. Okay, let's have the last one. The last kind of sources is the tertiary source. It provides third-hand information by reporting ideas and details from secondary source. Okay, ibig sabihin, an eyewitness is more reliable than testimony at second hand, which is more reliable than hearsay or tertiary sources. Okay, pero tandaan natin that kahit na tertiary source siya, kahit na ito ay mga opinion or mga sabi-sabi or mga hearsay or mga chismis, mahalaga pa din itong tertiary source na mayroon tayo. Okay, bakit? It includes a potential for an additional layer of bias. Ano yung mga examples natin? Encyclopedia, almanac or almanac, almanac, Wikipedia. Kaya 'di ba minsan hindi tayo pinapakuha masyado ng info sa Wikipedia kasi that is editable. Madami ng authors ang nakapag-edit or kumbaga yung mga information ay from different authors na, mga secondary source na. Ano pang example? YouTube, dictionary, message boards, and social media sites.